Hi there. This is Boaz David from Human Bee, and I'm here to walk you through our newest cost sheet version. I'll walk you through the template and kind of show you some of the things that we changed, some of the new features. If you're not familiar with Excel or with these templates, I'll sort of walk you through what you get with this. There's some really cool stuff here and some useful tools to help you basically cost your fashion product. So let's start. The first thing I want to kind of walk you through in case you're not familiar with Excel. So Excel has at the bottom, usually it's in the bottom, and you can see it different tabs. So here you can see introduction, instructions, example of cost sheet 1, 2, and so on. When you click at each of these tabs, you'll get into a different page. So when you first get the template, the first page on the left is the introduction page, where you can read some more information about what's included in this cost sheet, a couple of things that you should be aware of it, how to change some things. There's a link to how to, for example, rename these tabs or change them or copy or move them, things like this. Here you will have a link to the actual instruction video that walk you through the cost sheet itself and how to walk through it, and some other just basic information that will introduce you to the template. The next tab to the right, which is, if I'm here, you can see it here, the green tab. This page is an instruction page. And here you will find some basic information of how to work with the cost sheet, what you can do, what you cannot do. For example, there are some formulas built into the cost sheet, and it's very important that you will not change information in these specific boxes. Therefore, you can only change information in boxes where the text is in red or black. It also gives you some more instructions on some of the boxes and some of the information that you need to enter in the cost sheet that will that you might not be aware of really what the information should be. And so we have some recommendations and suggestions of what to do here, and kind of walk you through the general sections of the cost sheet and some of the main basic boxes in it where you should be aware of what these answers or what these formulas mean, how they calculate it. So it'll help you read the cost sheet and understand how it works. It will also have a link again here to the instructions of how to do this, where just like this, I will walk you with a video through the cost sheet, so you don't have to figure it all on your own. Try to make it very straightforward and easy to work with. Then to the right of the instructions tab, the next tab is an example of a cost sheet. So this is just an example for you to see what a final or a filled, completed cost sheet should look like. And you can kind of get a feel of, this is what my cost sheet should look like once I'm done entering the information and how it's going to read. So generally speaking, you can see here, there are different sections to the cost sheet. This is the first section where there's just general information about the style, a place to put photos of it. Then we have this part of the cost sheet where all the magic is happening. You can get really the idea is that once you plug your costs for products, you get suggested wholesale prices, suggested retail prices. You can play with markups to get different ideas of how to price your product. And the awesome, cool feature that we added to this cost sheet is the option for you to now see 3 different versions of pricing your product, costing and pricing your product. So if you'll see here, for this example cost sheet, there's a cost for making only 50 pieces, there's a cost for making only 150 pieces, and there's a cost for making 500 pieces. So now you can sort of have an understanding of what this product will cost me in every one of these levels and how I should price it, because this is the kind of information that you will need in order to figure out what is the correct pricing for your product. And also gives you an idea of the differences between the different scenarios of cost. Also gives you the options if you sort of finding hard to decide between few ways of producing your product who each has different costs. Then you can plug each one of them separately here, look at all of them, and kind of get an idea about what makes sense for you. So this is what a final cost sheet would look like. You have a section where you can plug in the information for fabrics, a section for trim, and then a section for labor. And the bottom here is calculating everything for you. As I said, in 3 different scenarios. So now you can look at this and really have a view for example, a long-term and a short-term view of a product. Because especially if you're new to the industry and this is your first seasons, then in the beginning you might make only 50 pieces, but you kind of want to know what it will cost you when it's 500 pieces, so you can kind of find where is going to be your magic pricing. And here you can see how it works. Simple example of cost sheet. To the right of that tab, you have blank cost sheets, which you can use and plug in your own information and create a specific cost sheet for every one of your product. There are 5 of them. So if you look, tab number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can add as many as you want and going forward. That's a great thing about Excel. So, for those of you who work with PC, all you need to do is, if I'm here now and I'm right clicking on the tab, I get the option, first of all, to rename. So the cool thing is that now I can rename this cost sheet. So when I look at all these tabs, I don't have to figure out, where did I put this cost sheet for the pants? Where's the cost sheet for the dress? I can put the style number here. I can put the descriptions of it. This way, I have a full map of all my cost sheet. And if I want to copy and just create a new blank, all I need to do is press move a copy. I do a copy right here, press a check copy. I just choose where I want this cost sheet copy to be positioned. Press OK, and you see here, cost sheet number 6. So very easy to do. I have a blank cost sheet, and I can create as many cost sheets as I need. So these are the blank cost sheet. And the next tab is another awesome feature that we added to this version. So the idea was, if you're creating separate cost sheets for your product, and you kind of need to do your pricing strategy, it's very cool, very helpful, very useful to sometimes look at all your styles in one page and look at the cost of all of them and kind of choose markups for all of them and see different versions of markups. Because what happens a lot of time with costing is that you might be able to go on one item and price it higher. On another one, you might need to price it lower. So your margins might be different. They might balance themselves at the end, but might be different when it's specifically per item. This way, and here's an example. So again, if I'm in this tab, to the right of this tab now, I can see my line markup by style example. So this is an example of how I can use this sheet. So for example, here I have 10 different styles that I've listed here. I plugged in the cost for each one of them. And now I'm looking here, and I can choose different markups here, the red ones, and kind of get an idea of, what my wholesale markup options could be. And you can see different scenarios for every style. Now I can see this view and really make decisions this way. More so, not just the wholesale price, but also the retailer markup. So again, 5 scenarios here that gives me an idea of what the retailer markup will be for each of these wholesale prices. So again, the idea is just to have something that is completed in one page that will help me make decisions when I'm sitting down and creating the prices for my cost sheets. That's about it. Pretty straightforward. An Excel sheet that really gives you everything that you need. Hope you find it as useful as we do. Good luck.